Yes, K-I-N. Oh, yeah. Hey, you turn it up, Philly. It's time to roll on the ones and twos, taking full control. From the link to the X, from the sixes to the fields. One voice cuts through, giving you the real. He broke the stories, he started the fire, lost the whole game back in '86, never retired. Heroes crown him, yeah, they call him the king. Fur coat flashing, bling bling in every ring. He's the hardest working, great talking dog. Call in with your tape, but don't get it wrong. He'll call you a nitwit if you're acting a fool, but deep down you love it. That's the Eskin rule. Riding with the king, yeah, we're riding with the king. Howard Eskin show, let the truth ring. Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, Flyers, he knows the deal. Philly sports royalty, bow down and kneel. Riding with the king, put your hands in the air. From South Philly streets to the Delaware. No filter, no fear, just the facts on the mic. It's the Howard Eskin show. Let's go get sight. Hey, riding with the king. Riding with the king. Hey, riding with the king. Riding with the king.
Good morning, live on this Saturday morning. A good morning to everybody as you're riding with the king on our, and I'll say our because most of the people here, or a lot of the people have been here from the beginning, and then people have been a part of it ever since. The 100th, celebrating my 100th show here on the media of the world, not local radio, not local TV, but the media of the world on all the social media platforms. And we are lucky to be here for you. But I'm lucky because it's been a lot of fun, especially the last show was a lot of fun. And I know a lot of people made comments about our guest, John Harbaugh. Uh, he hasn't done many interviews yet other than his news conference. I don't know of many others at all. But John was nice enough to do it for me, and he's genuine, real guy, and that was a lot of fun. And I know people, and I've heard from people around the NFL that saw it, and uh, it was received very well by a lot of people, even the people in New York that maybe didn't or weren't able to get the interview. So first, I want to thank for most of these 100 shows, but he's now here and he's a solid partner. All my partners are solid. The show is presented by Stillwell Financial Advisors. Jeff Stillwell knows his stuff. I'm telling you, every day it seems like there's something new with financial things in this country, certainly around the world, but we're worried about this country. And Jeff Stillwell has it all down, stays on top of every bit of it, and he can help you because I know in talking to him, he really, really, really knows his stuff. Jeff Stillwell, give him a call, 732 343 732-343-0813. That's 732-343-0813. Stillwell Financial Advisors and Jeff Stillwell. All right, there's so many things to talk about. One of the things that I'd like to do, and let me welcome the people from, usually there's people all over the world, but people chime in. We have Maxie, I won't go through the whole thing, from Las Vegas. We have somebody from Arizona. We have people from all over the country. Las Vegas, that's 3 hours difference. So it's 5 o'clock. Wow, it's 5 o'clock in Las Vegas, and he gets up for the show, and I thank you very much. I see West Palm Beach, Roxbury, New York, British. Good morning from the British Virgin Islands. I'm getting them from all over. That is so great. And you can connect to the show. There's a link, Riding with the Snow King. You're just riding with the king in New York City. It's great to uh, to get so many people from so many places, and you're all welcome. And good morning from St. Augustine. Wow, I see all these things. This is great. People from all over. Uh, Another comment about the John Harbaugh. I don't call it an interview; it's a conversation. So people call it an interview. Interviews are too sterile and too. That's what radio and TV are. They're just sterile. It's like, got to ask this question, this question, this question, this question. No, you have a conversation and you just play off each other and have a good time. And I know John Harbaugh sent me a text after the show that he had fun. I had fun, and I hope you had fun. All right, today, one of the things that I'm going to ask you, well, that I'm asking you right now, your memories of any one of the 100 shows uh, that I've done, or even my career, if you have memories, and we're going to kind of discuss that. And certainly we're going to discuss the Eagles. I saw a comment, the offensive coordinator working with a moody quarterback and a moody, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't see it right now. One of the comments on the chat line, a moody quarterback. Let me see if I can get it to get it right. And I want to see who it was. Okay, Chris. It's Chris of 2020, but do you think a moody quarterback and a malcontent wide receiver are really going to listen to these offensive coaching hires? At first, yes. Throughout the season, I question it. uh, it's just, how about this guy, Steve Cucci? I saw you live when you had Carl Lewis on your show. Yeah, I do it. I did a remote, and Carl Lewis was one of my guests at that time. John Rogers, the Joey Merlino show was tops by far. Joey Merlino's show was good because he's always unfiltered, but we got into things and I asked him questions about the mob and being in the mob. Uh, Anytime you have Larry Bow on, it becomes one of your best shows. I have a lot of great people, but I want you to tell me about it. But a lot of the things we're going to talk about that. Your comments about things you enjoyed and the conversations that you remember. And I'd like you to join the show. I see the comments, but I'd like you to join the show. uh, Anytime that you want that we're doing it. We'll talk about the Eagles for sure. The Eagles' new offensive coordinator. Gotten questions many times from many people. It's only been a few days, but I will say this. Sean Mannion was not the Eagles' first, second, third, fourth, or fifth, and maybe more than that, choice to be their offensive coordinator. Now they'll say that's the guy they wanted. It just I know it wasn't their first, second, third. It wasn't any one of the first five choices. But a lot of people didn't want to come here because what's the upside? So we'll talk about that too. Mark Lawrence will join us shortly. And today for the 100th show, we have a great prize pack. And the prize pack is multiple things for show 100. For you to answer the question that I'll give you at the end of the show. The prize pack includes a Mike Schmidt autographed baseball, a Larry Boa autographed baseball, Chickies and Pete's $50 gift card, which is always good, Maroney custom clothing $100 gift card. So all these things, answer the question correctly, and we'll announce the winner of this prize pack for the 100th show. And I'm going to have another really good prize pack for our 1-year anniversary, which will be Wednesday, as it turns out. But we'll have the winner on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Subscribe to YouTube, and you're always notified when the show comes on live. And it's easy to find on all these social media platforms. Somebody says, free Captain Cowboy. Captain Cowboy has no guts to call the show because he knows the Cowboys really do suck. All right, let's get into And if there's people, like I said, that want to join the show, you have you have the link. I see somebody remembers the show I did with the Terrell Owens funeral. Mark Petro. Yeah, that was at a remote. One of the local funeral homes brought a real casket, and when T.O. created all these problems, I got a casket for people to throw their jerseys into, and sure enough, we must have got at least 100 people to throw their To jerseys in the casket. Because we all had to say goodbye to To. Somebody said one of the favorite shows is Merrill Reese. Uh, well, there's a lot of favorite shows. Joe, did you say we have somebody on the line? Okay. So just remember, uh, there's so many good things, and I want to hear from you and I'd like to talk to you about it too. Some of the good things. Captain Cowboy versus the King, always a classic. Not a classic because he's an idiot, but that's all right. All right. Also, some of our very, very, very important people and our partners are other sponsors. And one of those would be a fairly new one. And it's our newest, Thomas Chevrolet. I actually stopped by there yesterday. When I stopped by, I talked to one of their customers, and we had a nice conversation. His name was Christopher. We just talked about things, and one of the first question he had was the offensive coordinator. So, but Thomas Chevrolet is a family-owned business. It's fun. It's fun to go in there. It's fun to talk to those people and the customers. Family owned is important. It's important because they're like you and me, and that's who they are. And I've learned over the time that I've gotten to know them, really are just regular folks uh, looking to engage people into getting one of their automobiles. Up right now, up to $14,000 savings available, 0% APR for up to 60 months. Also available. Many of the vehicles, you can't go wrong. I started driving the Equinox, which is kind of a mid-size SUV. Very nice ride. The technology in there is great, but it's the ride and it's a vehicle and it's the comfort. So no haggle or hassle over the price of your new Corvette, Equinox, Silverado, Traverse, or Tahoe. And Corvettes, that's one of their specialties. Thomas Chevrolet is a certified Corvette specialist dealer. Always, when I walk into the showroom, I always look at the Corvettes in the showroom, and they are a Corvette specialist. Thomas Chevrolet, a superior service department, all makes and models, all makes and models, tops in the tri-state area. Yeah, you'll do your service on whether you have a Chevrolet or not. They'll do service. Met the service people, really great people. Uh, Great selection of new and pre owned vehicles. Here's the address, which I did not give to you, but I'm going to give to you now. The address is 1263 West Baltimore Pike in Media, or you can give them a call, 610 566 8600. If you just give them a call or you just stop in, I mean, it's a fun time, and they're really good people, really good people. It's just I see all these people that remember so many different shows, but that's great. And also, one of our great sponsors and partners, Piazza Property Pros.
Hi, I'm Jaden. I'm a foreman here at Piazza Property Pros. We're here in Newtown Square putting the finishing touches on this beautiful job. Out front, we did a fully custom thermal bluestone walkway. We added landscape lights in the mulch beds. We did all the planning and we did all the sod. Here we have another walkway. Here are the guys putting in a white vinyl privacy fence, more plants, and then onto the pool. Out back, we started by digging this 15 by 35 pool. Next step was to tie in the strip drains and the downspouts to the stormwater management pit. And then we added the marble tile. Our carpentry crew came out and added these beautiful steps. And we added the tile as well as the artificial turf. We added the jacuzzi pad so the customers had somewhere to watch the Eagles game. After that, we needed something to retain the grade. So we added this smooth face Cambridge Sigma block.
And Piazza Property Pros number. It's an easy one for everybody. And I suggest you be a part of what they do. 610 566 2608, 610 566 2608, or piazzaoutdoor.com. It's a lot of great They remember shows. Somebody remembers a show when I used to do a remote at Pizzeria Uno at one time, and they used to go and celebrate Michael Chalfant, celebrate their birthdays. It's just no, Stephen D'Angelo. Nick's days are not numbered. No, they're not numbered. Well, every coach days are numbered. Let's put it that way. Every day's coach, there's always an expiration date. That's what I talked about with John Harbaugh. After 18 years, they said goodbye too. So, all right, let's go and listen to the people out there. And one of the people, and he's a regular viewer, listener of the show, and he rides with the king. Boy, how about this? Somebody used to listen to me on WWDB, which was an FM station. Did FM sports talk before anybody. Schmitty, Boa. It's just John Vukovic, Greg Lazinski. Yeah, I had all those guys on. Yeah, it's just good guys. All right, let's go and hear from you. And I believe George is there. George, are you there?
Howard, happy
Yep.
100th. I'm one of
Yep.
those guys too from WWDB days and all your remotes. And I want to thank you for doing this here. I've been a fan of yours for a long time, and I try not to miss you at all. You know that. Even when I'm at the airport, I try to come through because you keep it real. I may not agree with you all the time, but none of us do, and I appreciate that.
You know what? The one thing that I've and I learned it early in my career at WWDB, even if I have strong opinions, and I was told because it was new and I was trying to be nice to everybody. There's nothing wrong with being nice. I mean, when I see people like the gentleman I talked to at Thomas Chevrolet yesterday, really great guy. And we had probably about a 10, 15-minute conversation. But I'm keeping it real, whether I see you in person, or whether I have you on the show, because honesty is always the best way. The truth will set you free. And whether the people like it or not, I back it up because I check to make sure that my information is correct when I have an opinion. So,
well, you were the first one. I have a lot of favorites. I'm going to make them quick for you and bring back some memories. I was at a lot of your remotes, Pizzeria Uno. I was in Center City when you had Charles Barkley on. That was my favorite one here too, because it brought back memories when he was in Philly. You had him on your shows and remotes. I was at the remote when Magic Johnson announced that he had HIV. That was in Center City, Pizzeria Uno. I used to go to Cherry Hill Rivet to see you. I was there when Dave Remington had some knucklehead trying to come at you.
yeah, Dave
there's
Remington
a lot of
grabbed
stories
him,
with
yeah.
you, man. And I thank you for doing this. And you have a lot of fans, and I owe you a lot because you told me to go into a small radio station, and I did that. I became a broadcaster for Central Bucks West Football. I had my own weekly show. It was an amazing thing. And people ask me, do you ever think about doing it as a career? Of course I have. What are you kidding me? It's a dream. But you told me walk in and do anything. If it was cleaning the bathrooms, and that's what I did.
Yeah, and that's what I tell. That's what I tell. Whether they're students or people trying to get in the business. I did a podcast with Phil Martelli, who I've known for a long, long time, and his nephew was on there with him, and he asked me about it. I says, first of all, they're going to pay you what they want to pay you, especially in today's world. People just get. It's unbelievable how the business of radio and TV can't support the numbers anymore. And you got to take what you can get, and you got to take whatever they want to pay you and then work it from there. And that's basically the way it is.
I have my two favorites of you on here, and it was hard because every Wednesday is really good. I like Barkley, the very first one, because it brought back memories of the other ones. And I love Joey Marlena because what he did is you couldn't have him on regular radio because there'd be bleeps every 3 seconds.
Yeah,
and,
well, that's
and
clear.
the cursing about everything, but he's real, and I love that about him. And I have a favorite caller. I'm gonna bring back a name from the past for you. Since Lou Holtz is in hospice, it brings back the days of the Hurricanes and Notre Dame. Remember the caller, and it was classic with you and him, Notre Dame Harvey.
Yeah.
Classic
All those
conversation.
All those Notre Dame fans were delusional. And I remember I greeted Lou Holtz. I knew he's sick and whatever. Uh, when he came to Philadelphia one time, and he knew of me because I always ripped him. Uh, you know, he was cheating before everybody was cheating. So whatever, he would get kids into school. Good coach, he had good teams, but we got along. When I met him at the airport, which was kind of funny, and he laughed. It is what it is, but people, Digger Phelps, another Notre Dame guy. I ripped him, but he understood. He finally understood me. So it's just I had to keep it real. I always kept it real.
You've always kept it real from the very first time I listened to you, and I really appreciate this format that you're doing. And like I said, I've been with you. God, 1980. I was in ninth grade. I mean, the
Wow.
WWDB days at 6 o'clock. I'd come home from practice and I'd turn you on right at dinner time, and you were real then, and you always have been, and that's why I appreciate you a lot, and I support your program.
Yeah, there's times. Again, you brought up a lot of them. The Dave Remington thing, I remember that was at the Ribbit in New Jersey. The guy had a problem at home, and he was uh, he was getting help, but he didn't get help that day. Remington grabbed him by the neck. We were off the air for about, I think it was close to a half an hour because he knocked all the equipment over. He jumped me at the show, but it could have been anybody. I remember to this day him standing not that far away watching the show, and then all of a sudden he just went crazy. But hey, listen, all kinds of things with great guests. It just it was all good stuff. It was all good stuff.
Well, I appreciate that, and like I said, man, these shows are really awesome. And like I said, I plan my week around it. I try wherever I can. I mean, even when I'm away, I turn you on because it just brings back a lot of memories of me growing up, and just you always kept it real, and I can appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate the people that have been out there for all these years, and I appreciate people. More and more people now, obviously, have joined the podcast. But it's just, I'm just, it's free form. It's just, it is what it is. So many people. I think we hit an all-time high with the people that watched the John Harbaugh show. The great thing about these shows is if you miss a show, you can always go back and watch it on pretty much all the social media platforms
That's
or
what I did
listen to it.
Wednesday. That's what I did Wednesday, right? I didn't get the notification I was doing something in the house. I get on 7:30. I'm like, wait, he's on already. What's going on here? So I missed probably the first 20 minutes, and I went back and watched it. That's the best thing about YouTube. If you miss it, go back and watch it.
Yeah, and it's easy enough to find. I see a comment here, and this wasn't on the air. My moment with Charlie Manuel. Charlie was.
You had some classics, man. You had some
Hey,
classics.
listen, but then Charlie and I became good. We're good. I would call us good friends. We're always funny. And we always kid about. We always kid about his favorite line. I should drop you right here.
Isn't it amazing with all these people that originally we didn't like you to begin with, but all of a sudden you became close to and friends with because you know what? You kept it real. And people, that's
And they
society. People
understood.
don't like real.
They understood. There's another person here, Richard Conboy. He's listened for decades. Calls me an icon. I don't like to be. Uh, I'm just a regular person. Icon, legend. Troy Aikman introduced me to Terry Bradshaw as a legend. I said, no. My name's Howard Eskin. But that's just the way it is. You just by being natural and real. That's the best part
You're
of
being
what we
humble,
do.
man, because
Yep.
you are. If we put a Mount Rushmore of sports talk in Philly, you're there, man.
Yeah.
I gotta be real with that. You're there.
All right. Well, thanks. Thanks for joining us. Thanks.
Take it easy, Howard. Have a good one.
All right. Take care. We'll have Mark Lawrence on. Is Mark clicked on yet, Joe? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't see he was here. All right. We'll take a look, a little a preview look at the Super Bowl. Prop bets. Obviously, the Super Bowl is a week from now. I'll say this before I have Mark on. Seattle, and New England, it doesn't. The game doesn't really excite me. It's not a game that says, "Oh, I gotta watch this game. I gotta watch this game." You know, the NFL will tell you how great the numbers are and all those kind of things. That's all well and good, but it just, for some reason, it just doesn't have the luster. It is the Super Bowl, and I know people will watch it. And you know why you're going to watch it? Because you're going to bet. You're going to bet everything on the Super Bowl. And to help us with that, let's have Mark Lawrence jump in. Mark, good morning. How are you this morning?
Hey, I'm just terrific, Howard. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. You know, I was thinking about that. If people couldn't bet the Super Bowl, you'd probably have what, 30 or 40% of the people watching the game that watch the game. Would you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I would say easily a third less people would watch the football game if they didn't have action on the game. And there's people that watch it that have action that don't even know what they're watching. They just have action.
Yeah, right. And that's what it's all about. And the Super Bowl, more and more people, they just bet a whole bunch of things. The prop bets, the game itself, the total. I mean, everything you could imagine. So is there anything trend-wise going into the Super Bowl that, number one, you look at, and then we'll start talking about the prop bets you're starting to look at too?
Well, you're going to look at the teams in the condition in which they arrived there, obviously. And generally, for the most part, the team that's on the hottest, winningest run fares the best in the Super Bowl. That would be Seattle. They got the longest win streak, skiing going in, if you will. But I look at defenses first and foremost, and I also look at the head coaches because it's the head coaches that get the job done. It's who the team is, the personality. And then we do a lot of back research to find out exactly what their statistics shape up like, offensively, defensively, yards per rush, per pass, and all those good things, all those, if you will, those metrics per se. So it's not just what you see. It's not. But the one thing that people tell me every time is, all you have to do is pick the winner of the Super Bowl and you'll beat the spread. And well, the fact of the matter is the winner of the Super Bowl is 49-7-3 against the spread. But 20 of those winners have been underdogs. So
Oh, okay. So you got it. So, but if you pick, but you got to pick the winner. That doesn't mean you're picking the
exactly right.
favorite. Yeah.
Right. So are you going to tell me honestly that you had the underdog to win the football game and that's who you picked to win the game? No, you're not. So don't fall for that adage that whoever wins the football game is going to cover the spread. Yes, they probably will, but tell me who it's going to be first.
All right. So if you pick a winner, the number usually doesn't come into play.
Right.
And right now, the last number I saw was Seattle was 4.5. Is that pretty much where it is right now?
Yeah, it is. It's open to there were some 5.5s out there, and it's settled in at 4.5. It was running for a while, and the reason that it was running is because Drake May has got some injury concerns. He didn't look good his last two games in the playoffs in the divisional and what was perceived to be the wild card round before that. But the fact of the matter is, it ran that way, and now all of a sudden, the people that do favor some momentum, some defense, are coming back to look at New England in the football contest here. When we talk next week and we get to the side and the selection of the game here, I'm going to make a pretty strong case for a side in the game, although I'm going to go against a trend, Howard, that is 17-1 against the spread in the Super Bowl.
Wow. That's pretty good. All right.
Yeah.
But that'll be next week. So,
Yeah.
all right. Right now, let's look at some of the prop bets. There's so many. What would you say? There's 50 prop bets that you can bet, kind of roughly. Is that a number?
Well, if you're in Las Vegas, there's probably 700 prop bets you can bet.
Okay, well, most people aren't in Las Vegas.
But here's the important thing about the prop bets. In Vegas and properties like that are in the U.S., you can only make a prop bet on a play that's going to be determined on the playing field. It can't be what color the Kool-Aid is going to be, or how long is the national anthem going to be. The garbage gimmick props like that. Those, in truth, are only set up by sports books just for the action. But in Vegas and Nevada, you are not allowed to make those wagers because it has to be determined on the field of play.
Okay. So if people get there are practices when people do the Star Spangled Banner. I think the day before they do for the entertainer just to get a feel of the stadium. So if somebody's there can stand outside the stadium, some people have been standing outside the stadium and listening to it. Now this is an outdoor stadium, so it's not enclosed and indoors. And I know people have gone out there the day before, waited for somebody to practice the national anthem, and then they time it. So it's pretty interesting how people. That's if I guess you're not allowed to bet that much on the national anthem prop bet.
No, those gimmick bets usually have what they call limits on them, as opposed to what the real props have. But perhaps per se, you can only get maybe $500 off on the national anthem, maybe 1,000. But the other props you can bet 5 or 10,000. So they're not going to take total risk on something that they can't control. And people, like you say, timing the length of the national anthem, you have to have a little bit of sickness in you to do that. But some people do that, like you say, and they do that for an edge, is what they're looking for.
Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the prop bets that you're looking at now.
Well, the prop bet that I'm going to use, that I've used a lot of, and it has worked out real well. My number one favorite prop is, will there be a the first play of the second half? Will it be a rush or will it be a pass? And if you play no, that you bet that the first play of the second half is going to be a rush, it's won 21 of the last 25 years. And it's only logical, Howard, in its makeup and its thinking, because when teams go to the locker room, the coaches make all these adjustments. They reset their game plan, and they come out and reestablish. And when they reestablish, it's almost always with the ground attack leading the way. So if you have a prop, first play, second half, bet that the first play will be a rush in that prop.
Okay. But the number is probably, what's the odds on that?
It's not
probably,
bad, Howard. It's minus 125.
oh, that's not bad at all. No,
No,
that's not
no.
bad at all. I thought it'd be like 140, 150. No.
That's not
Okay.
bad.
All right. What else you're looking at?
Well, here's one thing that I used to really love, and unbelievable. It had won like 19 times in a row, and it finally blew last year. And what it is the team that scores last, will they win the football game? Which made a lot of sense, because the score could either have pushed the other team, buried the other team, or it could have been the winning score of the game. Now it's 19-1. Will the team who scores last win the Super Bowl game? Now, if you bet that to come back off of its loss that it had last year, you can get that realistically at a price of minus 160. Now, last year, because it had been on such a big hot run, it went up as high as minus 280. And it'll probably be minus $2 again when they play it by Super Bowl Sunday, because people will get wind of the fact that the team that scores last generally cashes the ticket. So that's one you want to look at if you can get it at a decent price. I would say that for sure.
So you bet the team that scores last does win the game.
Does win the game, exactly. Right. That's, like I say, it had won 19 years in a row up until last year. So I like to be first in line the next year to say that it's going to revert back to where it was, or to where it came from.
So the way it's listed, it's this team that scores last wins. It's a yes or a no.
Exactly.
Okay.
Team scores. Yeah, exactly right.
Okay.
The other
what
one,
else is-
the other one, plain and simple, is will the first play of the game be a run or a pass? And it has been a run 6 of the last 7 years, and also you can go back. It's been a run 12 of the last 15 years. So people think that they're going to come out looking to throw the ball. No, they're not. They're going to establish their game plan, their ground game. So if you do anything on that first play of the game, look for the rush or the run in the first play of the game. And that's not a bad price either. In fact, you can get that at plus 110 or even. So you're not going to have to lay a bad number or anything. You may even get that play as an underdog.
And the thing is that you probably want to cut down, not probably, you certainly want to cut down turnovers, although it doesn't seem like turnovers have affected the outcomes of a lot of these playoff games. Teams that are winning are turning the ball over too much. But to keep the quarterback in a good, that's what the Eagles do. If it was the Eagles playing, I'd bet on the run, the first play, 20 out of 20 times.
There you go.
Because they just don't want the quarterback to put the ball in the air. And I bet you there's a lot of teams that are kind of like that.
Well, that's a great analogy. I didn't even think about that. Not risking a turnover on the very first play of the game and setting yourself back in the hole. There was a prop, the king of the props in Las Vegas. His name is Jay Cornegay, and he ran the Superbook Sportsbook, the biggest sports book in the U.S. And I used to do some writing for the USA Today, and I interviewed him about props in the Super Bowl. And I asked him, "What is your worst prop? What is your worst nightmare when it comes to a prop, being a sports book operator?" And he said that my worst nightmare is a safety in a game because people want to load up on a safety and because it pays a big price. Well, it's been no safeties the last 11 years in a row. And the time I asked him was 14 years ago, and wasn't the first play of the game a snap over Peyton Manning's head and recovered for a safety? He was crushed on the first play of the game up to the safety in the game. But you don't want to bet a safety in the game. It looks attractive. You would say no to that, but you have to lay a big price. You have to lay like minus 700 to do that. So don't get lured into a safety in the game, is what I'm saying.
If I remember that game, that was Seattle and Denver,
Yes.
correct? Okay. That was in New York or in New Jersey. That was a giant stadium.
Wow.
You wouldn't remember that, but I was there. They were lucky. They had snow the week before, and they were lucky it wasn't cold for the game because it's not a dome stadium, which
Right.
they like to play in, or warm weather. So, and they had to give New York a Super Bowl because they got a new stadium. They do that for teams. If you get a new stadium, the NFL kind of promises you somewhere and somewhere along they're going to give you a Super Bowl. Now Minnesota got a Super Bowl. The week was that's when the Eagles were in it was brutal weather-wise, but it was a dome stadium.
Wow.
So I've been to 42 Super Bowls, but it's amazing that I do remember that because and I'm not shocked. I'm not a fan of either one of the quarterbacks. Peyton Manning is a great human being and a great guy, but and a terrific quarterback, but he just I thought he was overrated. Like his brother, he wasn't dominant in games. And I think the first Super Bowl he played in, they won, and he turned the ball over a couple of times with was it the Colts? I guess it was the Colts. But he turned the ball over a few
Well,
times.
unlike Peyton, he at least, unlike Eli, he did bring some good numbers, statistical numbers. You know, and his
Yeah.
Hall of Fame thing was a
Yep.
first round bet for sure. I don't
Yeah.
know if Eli's going to even get in, but Peyton did have the numbers for sure.
Oh yeah, he'll get in because he's got the right last name.
There
That's
you
why
go.
he's going to get in all this nonsense about Bill Belichick not being in on the first ballot. He cheated, and who knows how long he cheated. You know, when they caught him, he had to be cheating for at least multiple years before that. Like,
And
who
I
cares?
love the excuse that the voters used for the ones that voted against him, Howard. You know, they said that they were voting for senior people that were there the longest, with longest tenure, and seniors that needed their love. They voted for them ahead of Belichick first. Well, that wasn't the reason they voted for them ahead of Belichick. It's because, like you said, he was not a very honest man.
Well, no, he's not. And that is not a bad idea because I know sometimes when they vote like Richie Allen in baseball, Richie Allen should have been in the Hall of Fame and there was people that didn't like him. After he passes away, he gets into the Hall of Fame. That's not Pete Rose will probably get into the Hall of Fame, but he's no longer around
Right.
to revel in it and his fans revel in it. But that's another thing. So, all right. So what other props are you looking at?
Well, one thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to say that there's going to be an overtime in the football game, and it's very attractive to easy to get there. But the answer to that is no, because in the 59 Super Bowls they played, only two of them have involved an overtime in the game. So you're going up against 3.4% odds by saying yes, there will be an overtime. Don't be foolish. Just keep the money in your pocket and don't make that proposition. Avoid the overtime prop.
You can't bet no overtime, right?
You can bet, yeah, but yeah, I mean, you're going to lay like 1,000 to 1, or 500 to 1, because it's only obvious that you're going to do that. So, but you don't want to get lured into the yes part of it, where you're going to be getting back a big haul. You're not going to get that haul. It's going to look attractive, but it's not going to work.
All right. Anything else that you're looking at? Obviously, many things.
Well, there's
Uh,
also some unique things that have happened in the Super Bowl, and like one situation is will each team have a field goal and a touchdown in each half? A touchdown and a field goal. Will each team do that?
wow.
Yeah, that's you can say it never. It's 24 times in a row. It has not happened. Okay, so
Wow.
don't get into that where you're going to say yes that each team is going to have a field goal and a touchdown. That's 0 for 24. That's a lot of strikeouts doing just that. Avoid something like that. Will there be a punt return in the game for a touchdown? Hasn't happened in 24 straight Super Bowls. No is the answer. Uh, will a wide receiver catch 200 or more passing yards? It hasn't happened in 24 years. So it's things like that that look attractive on the surface because you're going to get a lot of money back in your return, but they're there for a reason. They just don't happen.
Well, the prop, each team, yeah, I wouldn't bet that. Or I wouldn't take that prop and say yes. Each team with a touchdown and a field goal.
Yes.
No, I would not bet yes on that because somebody is going to struggle in the Super Bowl, especially and in this case, two quarterbacks who have never been to a Super Bowl. So it's going to be, and Drake May, I mean, you're talking about a young guy that's never been to a Super Bowl. What's the price on that?
If to do that, I don't have the price here in front of me, Howard. I'm going to figure it's going to make it attractive to you. So you're going to probably get like plus $3 or plus 400 back on your dollar. And it looks
For a
like
yes.
for a yes, right? It looks like it's achievable, but the answer is it's not.
So if it's a no, you're probably going to have to lay what 160, 170 maybe.
Maybe $2, 250, right?
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
that, right?
Okay. So is there anything else about the game, prop bet or otherwise that you're thinking about for this game before we get into it? I know
Well,
you're going to go over things this
yeah,
week.
we're going to go a little bit more over in depth, but here's one real unique thing. I'll tell you this: that the team that has the highest win percentage uh, in the Super Bowl game, if you bet against that team that has the highest win percentage, and I'm sort of unwrapping what I said I'm going to talk about next week, but the team with the higher win percentage in the Super Bowl game is 1-15 against the spread. Meaning
Really?
that, yes, and surprisingly, the team with the better record in the Super Bowl happens to be New England, uh, only because they played one extra game than has Seattle. Seattle did it because they had the bye week. New England had to play in the wild card round, so they picked up an extra victory. But that's 1-15 to fade that team. So you'd be fading New England in that sense. That's a kind of a strong stat. But again, this is a coin flip here, and it's there because of only one reason. That's because that Seattle had the bye week.
So the number on that, what are the odds on that? The team with the best record winning.
It's a spread bet. Okay, so
Oh, okay.
in the last 16 years, if you're going to bet the team that had the best win percentage, you would have lost 15 times. Okay,
Okay.
and only cashed one time. So if people like Seattle in the football game and you want to fade New England because of that, there's more reason to do just that.
Okay.
Because that's a pretty strong stat.
All right. I guess you're really disappointed that Belichick didn't make the Hall of Fame on his first ballot, right? You're
Yeah, I
just
had trouble sleeping that night, Howard.
and these national bobblehead talking shows, making it like a 3-day subject. Enough. Like, move on. It's just he's going to get in the Hall of Fame. Who cares he didn't make it his first ballot? I mean, it's just.
Did you see that happening?
I didn't even think about it, to be honest with you, but
I
I
didn't
can
either.
see. Well, it's like somebody made a good point. Well, if he didn't get in on the first ballot, why should Tom Brady get in on the first ballot? But Tom Brady had a successful career, and he was the reason that Belichick. He was one of the reasons, but a big reason that Belichick won those Super Bowls. And without Tom Brady, Belichick had a losing record.
There you go.
So, and Tom Brady won somewhere else too without.
And he ended up with a losing record after Brady left. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So Brady I'm sure he'll get in on the first ballot, but it just, they make a big deal with certain players in baseball. I guess Babe Ruth had to get in on his first. I don't even know. But there's certain players. Okay, first ballot, they don't get in. I know there's players that are pissed off. I know Brian Dawkins was not happy he didn't get in on his first. But hey, listen, I don't know that you have enough numbers to support a safety and he also kind of played linebacker a little bit to support that. But I know he was not a happy guy. Hey, listen, get over it. T.O. probably should have been in on his first ballot but T.O. had all those other distractions and all those other things. So that was part of the problem. But it doesn't matter. It's just certain guys deserve it, but it's not it's in the end, that what guys are going to get in the Hall of Fame. Those guys are going to get in the Hall of Fame regardless. Somebody made a comment here. How long have I had you on with me? I remember starting having you on my radio shows in 1980.
I remember.
1980 when I was working for the FM station, WWDB. And then I just thought that whether you win or you would lose, you're honest about your wins and losses. Where I found a lot of the guys out there that are touts, call them whatever. They would always say every week they were 5-0. Oh, 5-0 last week. I was 5-0. I was 5-0. Nobody goes 5-0 every week. Hard enough to go 5-0 for 1 week.
That's right. Take it and run.
Yeah, let alone every week. All right. Last week you had 2 winners with the college basketball. Who do you like this week?
Well, we'll stay with 2 underdogs per se, if you will. The first one, Kentucky, taking 6 points against Arkansas today. And it's a series, obviously, that Kentucky's dominated in the past. I think they've won 19 of the last 25 games. But they're coming in here off of a double-digit loss, is Kentucky. And they have revenge. So you put those 2 factors together. When Kentucky has revenge, they're coming off a double-digit loss. The last 6 times it's happened, they've won and covered all 6 games. And then you've got Arkansas coming in here. They just won a big revenge game over Oklahoma, their last game. Now they're coming into this contest laying points to Kentucky, and that's the factor there. Take Kentucky plus the 6.
You know what? Is Arkansas that good this year? I guess they are. Huh?
Yeah, they're a decent team, and they're going to be in the big dance, no question. And they're a little bit better than is Kentucky, but that's what handicapping is all about, to take advantage of the 6 points because of the situation.
Wow. Yeah, and Kentucky's not even in the top 25, which is amazing when you think about Kentucky. But you like Kentucky. All right. Who else do you like?
The other game's going to be one of these teams that you're going to say, well, who are they? What conference do they play in? It doesn't matter. All that matters is there's a line in the game. And it's North Texas. They're home against UAB, and you can find it pick or -1. And North Texas is a scrappy basketball team. They're going home off a previous home loss, and it was UAB that knocked them out of their conference tournament last year. So they will get their attention. They're off a loss, North Texas. UAB's off a win. It's a real nice, what I call a perfect set situation. North Texas pick or -1 over UAB.
I'm going to ask you, I saw last night that Cornell smoked Princeton. Is Cornell that good, or Princeton and I don't know how much you look at the Ivy League, is Cornell that good, or is Princeton that bad?
Well, it's the Ivy League, Howard. I'd like to be able to tell you, but I really, in truth, don't follow.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Ivy League, but I happen to look at that score, and I'm saying, Princeton used to have a competitive team, but you never think of that many Ivy League teams that are that much better than the other Ivy League teams. But Cornell won 87-64. Actually, Cornell's only 10-9, but I see the record of Princeton is 7-14. So that might tell me all I need to know about that game and why that happened. But I will say this: I'll give Villanova some props. Nobody knew what to expect from Villanova. New coach, but they've come off a couple of good wins. Villanova, you played them last week,
Yes.
but they won last night against Providence. Villanova's got like 16 wins. I think they're like 16-5. They're a good. They look like they're a good basketball team.
Yeah, real nice. And they're probably not going to win the Big East, but they're going to at least be maybe 2, 3, or 4, and they'll be a 20-win team, which is sort of back in the Jay Wright days.
Okay. All right. If people have interest in Mark services, 800-321-7777, or on the internet, playbooksports.com. And I'm sure your newsletter will have a lot of things talking about the Super Bowl coming up, and we
Yeah,
will.
the Super Bowl newsletter is out right now, Howard. In fact, I just sent you a copy before we went on the air.
Okay, and we will talk about the Super Bowl next week on the show, and have a couple more basketball games. All right, Mark, you have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Enjoy the games, Howard. I'll catch you next week. Be well.
All right,
Bye-bye.
thanks. All right, so you got some prop bets. You got all kinds of good things, and we'll talk about the Super Bowl next week. And there'll probably be some more prop bets that he will come up with. I see somebody here said on a comment, Princeton lost their best player to the transfer portal. That's really that's when they start grabbing players off of Princeton, they don't have enough. Ivy League teams they get good players, but not enough good players. And, it's amazing some of the things that college sports is really a problem. All right, I will first of all let me thank my presenting sponsor, as I always do, because he is very important. He's a very important partner to this show, and that would be Stillwell Financial Advisors. Jeff Stillwell knows his stuff, and I'm encouraging you. It doesn't hurt to just give a call and just kind of get some ideas on what you want to do with your financial future, whether Jeff can help you, but he knows what he's doing for sure. 732-343-0813. All right, our winner, let's get into our winner from the last show. The question was John Harbaugh's comment about Lamar Jackson. And our winner of a pair of Oakley sunglasses, Frank Lenghetti. Seem to get a lot of fine people from the Italian community. It just, I don't know if you're Italian, Frank, but it just seems with that name. But anyway, congratulations to anybody that's a winner right now. And Frank, you answered the question correctly, talking about his comment about Lamar Jackson, who I thought dissed him at the end of the season. John Harbaugh's comment about Lamar Jackson. And out of many entries, you are the winner. We will select the person at random to do that. All right. I want to talk about a couple things before I talk about our other partners. Kind of buried under all this other stuff, the Epstein files, and I don't want to get political, although yeah, I want to, but I know people get bent out of shape. Josh Harris was mentioned in the Epstein files. Now, it was before he was convicted, obviously. There was one of the owners of the Giants was mentioned, and he came out with a statement. I have not seen the Sixers come out with a statement for Josh Harris, which they should, just to clear the air. But Josh Harris had a meeting, and I'm not sure if in the Epstein files, if he went to Epstein Island, but it just is going to be, let's get everybody, but nobody ever mentions Trump, but they all bring up these, well, they mention him, but they don't mention anything. There's rare to mention things in particular, but Josh Harris, just as an aside, the Belichick thing, I'm over it. Yeah, people got to get over it. He didn't get in on the first ballot. Who gives a damn? He cheated. Whatever it was. Yeah, Steve Tisch was mentioned. Whatever it was, get over it. Get over it. All right, our winner. Before we get to our winner, let's talk about some of our other partners on the show, and that would be Thomas Chevrolet. Thomas Chevrolet, I'm impressed. I just happened to walk in just to look one day, and sure enough, we got to talking, and the next thing you know, they're a part of the Howard Eskin show, and they're riding with the king, and I'm riding with them. Thomas Chevrolet, our newest sponsor, 1263 West Baltimore Pike in Media. Importantly, and I emphasize this because I felt it, a family-owned business. So nice to people. 38 years in business. Good people, provide straight deals. There's no need to haggle or hassle. Price point on the vehicles is really, really good. Whether it's a new Corvette, Equinox, Silverado, Traverse, or Tahoe. I'm driving the Equinox. I'm impressed. Right now, up to $14,000 in savings available, 0% financing available up to 60 months for qualified people. It's all available with great vehicles, new and pre-owned. The other thing I want to mention, and not many dealerships do this, their service department, they service all makes and models if you want service. Easy enough to get in and out on Baltimore Pike. Easy enough, but they service all models. They are also a Corvette specialist dealer, certified Corvette specialist dealer. Been in 38 years. You got a lot going on for you. Great selection of all cars. Very, very, very nice people. And somebody, if nothing else, I'm telling you, you think about that. People think about foreign cars, they think about foreign cars. And then this is a real nice vehicle. And they have some really nice vehicles with some great people. 1263 West Baltimore Pike in Media. Here's a number 610 566 8600. 610 566 8600, or check them out at thomaschevy.com. That's thomaschevy.com. Another great partner is Piazza Property Pros. 25 years of experience. See, people that have been in business a long time, the reason they're in business a long time is because they're successful, and they're successful because they're good. They don't subcontract, uh, whether it's an in-ground pool, and I'm going to emphasize this right now. It's an in-ground pool. If you want it, start making your decisions now, because uh, they go in order, and you got to start making that decision early. Also, if you want landscaping, fencing, ground maintenance, snow removal, they do that too. They do everything. Piazza Property Pros. uh, Pool maintenance. Some people already have a pool, want maintenance. Give them a call. Just give them a call. 610 566 2608. Schedule a free consultation. That's 610 566 2608. Really good people, do really good work. And on the internet, Piazza, that's Piazza, Piazza Outdoor, one word, Piazza Outdoor, as you see up there on the screen, piazzaoutdoor.com. All right. Our winner, which I mentioned from last week, but we're going to have a question coming up, and I've got a question from Mark Lawrence. Has a great prize pack for this being the 100th show. There were some people betting against me. Don't ever bet against me. Really. Don't ever bet against me. All right? Because you're only going to find yourself, being wrong. A prize pack, a Mike Schmidt autographed baseball, a Larry Boa autographed baseball, a Chickies and Pete's $50 gift card, a Maroney custom clothing $100 gift card. So all these things are part of the prize pack. If you answer the question, I'll announce the winner, and that would be on Tuesday, February 3rd. Watch the show either on X, Twitter, as I still call it, and most people call it, Facebook. A lot of comments. A lot of people watch on X. A lot of people watch on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Actually, we're on audio platforms on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon Music. And the winner will be randomly chosen from all the correct entries. And good luck. And I'll give you the question shortly. One of the things that it was interesting from John Harbaugh. He has said a lot of interesting things. He was great. I mean, great. He was great because he just was himself. And that's who he is. It just he is one of those guys. He's just one of those guys. But he talked about he's accepted. He understands the media. He accepts it. Doesn't understand it, but he accepts it. Well, I don't know if he understands it, but he also accepts when fans may get a little nuts. Listen to his comments about fans and about social media. John Harbaugh on the last show.
Here's what I learned, Howard. It's like, this is what this is. This is sports is, and I'll say it a lot of times in the press conferences now because I grew up. I just basically say, hey guys, this is sports. It's sports, all right? Because yeah, it's really important because it's important to people and everybody cares. But sports, I tell the players and the coaches, we are in the entertainment business. Football is like it's a sport and it's tough. And it's a gladiator mentality because you're competing, but in the end, it's entertainment. You are like actors in a movie or in a play. Okay, you're the character, and so they have every right. The viewers, the fans have every right to judge you, to criticize you, to praise you, to applaud you, to give you a standing ovation at the end, and you take the bow when you do great. Oh, to boo you off the stage because you had a bad performance. You did something wrong. You tripped and fell off the stage into the orchestra. Okay, it happened. So you took them to it, and you can write about it and tell the players he's got one of those too, and that's his opinion. And even though it might smell a little bit, that's okay. He's allowed to do it. It's not real. And it's not you. It's you, the actor. It's you. That's how you earn your money. You're a professional actor on a stage. And look at it that way and just know what's in this phone right there, all that social media stuff, that is a small phone. That's like this whole world. It can take you and trap you. I don't want to live in there. What do I want to live in this thing for? For what purpose? I got a whole world out here to live in. I get to talk to people. What the hell do I want to talk to in here? Some guy in his basement who texts something? No, I don't think so.
What a great comment. Yeah, actually, some people are in their basement sending out. People. Hey, listen, you can have an opinion, and I get it on social media. It's not social and it's not media. You can have an opinion, but when you get vile, uh, uh, you can have a strong opinion. But when you go to the depths that some people go and they get nasty, you can have a strong opinion and not be nasty. But when you get vile and nasty and use the four-letter words, but you rip somebody personally, not with what he said, and you get vile, and people do that because they're anonymous. Because most of the screen names, you don't know who the hell it is, and they are pounding their chest and they're listen what I said. Listen what I said to Howard Eskin or to John Harbaugh or whomever. Somebody here, Joe. I like these screen names. Like, who is Joe? Not 5746. He said, "I like my basement." Well, you might have a nice basement, but some people in their basement and living with their mothers. that's and my mother might be a great person, and you might be another reason you're living with your mom. That's all. That's all good. All right. So, all right. Let's somebody that has not, as a fan, experienced Super Bowls in a long, 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 long time is Cowboy Jim. It's been a long time.
Come on, put me on there. You're in the basement too, there, genius.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not.
let's not forget that.
I'm not in the basement, actually.
You're in the basement. Hey,
I'm on the
I tell
first
you what.
floor.
Hey, listen, Howard. George, in the beginning of the show, that is professional ass kissing to the 10th. That was some ass kissing George did with you.
You know what? But he brought up a lot. No, I don't agree with that. He brings up a lot of good points, and he's articulate with his points. You are just such a pathetic individual. That's why you're not at the top of the show.
I remember you back at WDUMB. I remember you back
WWDB, you moron.
But I'll congratulate you, Howard. Having John Harbaugh on was, like, people are jealous. These other radio stations and ESPN and everything, to have John Harbaugh on, because that's why the podcast is so good, because you get to keep him on there for, I don't know how long you had him on, 20, 25 minutes. I mean, that you can't
probably
get that anywhere else.
about 30 minutes. Yeah, probably about 30 minutes.
You can't get that anywhere else. And
No.
he's true to himself. He's
Well,
telling the
that's the whole
truth.
thing. He's honest, he's genuine, he's real. There's no, stock answers. I think Nick Sirianni is a very, very good head coach. However, well, no, I think he's a very good head coach. However, he's been programmed, unfortunately, by the public relations department to say nothing. So there's
That's true.
stock answers. He's got a really good personality. He's a good person with a good personality, but he's programmed with stock answers, and that's not good. People, fans dislike Nick Sirianni for two reasons. The fans that do dislike him, because he's too emotional on the sidelines. And I'll say, but I like emotion. I really do like emotion. But because of his emotion on the sideline, and it doesn't bother me when I saw it, but he's under control to do what he has to do. But they don't like him because he doesn't say anything. And that is, they didn't like Andy Reid for those reasons. But once in a while, Andy Reid would throw out a bone. He would throw, and he's got a great personality too, which people don't understand. Once in a while, he would throw out a bone. Nick Sirianni throws out nothing.
Well, you'll find out more about Sirianni once he's gone from the Eagles. Like you'll get honesty from him, but you're not going to get anything.
No,
now.
you're not. No, well, you might get him to be better because different public relations, the people that run public relations, will allow him to be himself. And there's certain things, and if it goes, and their argument is, well, it goes on social media. It lasts for 24 hours at most, and then people move on. Who cares what he said 6 months ago? I don't care. I
No.
don't care what he said 6 months ago.
All right. So do you think the new OC with the Eagles was a desperation? Like we've got to get somebody.
Well,
come on.
they were going to get somebody. I wouldn't call it desperation, but as I said earlier in the show, and obviously you heard it, he wasn't the first, from what I was told, he wasn't the first, second, third, fourth, or fifth choice, and it might have gone deeper than that. He wasn't there. I mean, they would have taken Brian Dable in a second, but
He's
I
not gonna
understand.
come to Philadelphia.
Well, no, he didn't want to come to Philadelphia.
No.
He didn't want to come to
Nobody
Philadelphia.
wanted to.
Well, the problem is, here's the problem, and this is pretty clear. Somebody that comes as an offensive coordinator at some point said, well, this could be a springboard to be a head coach. Now he's young, and I don't care about young. If you're good, it doesn't matter whether you're young. However, he's only been out of football for a little while. But the reality is, you want to have success. There's too much downside here. The offensive line won't be as good.
No.
Which means the running game won't be as good as Saquon Barkley is, and he's not as good as he was 2 years ago. Won't be as good. And without those two things, and without a running game, the quarterback is going to have issues again. So, and as the quarterback, is he going to accept, without complaining and say, well, I've had my seventh offensive coordinator in 6 years, or 8 and 7 years, whatever the number is. I don't care. I don't get. Stop with the. And he doesn't throw it as an excuse, but as Jalen Hurts makes it an excuse. So, are you going to be able to get him to run plays that I know the last offensive coordinator wanted him to run, but he wasn't. Jalen Hurts wasn't comfortable with them, and sometimes he couldn't grasp all the plays. So, is this guy going to be able to do it? I would say at best 50-50. I know.
No.
So that's why they had to take a guy that was going to come here.
Well, hopefully, if he has children, he better just keep them in Green Bay and not have a house in Philadelphia.
Hey, Nick Sirianni, the Eagles put out a statement. Rather than have him talk, they put out the statement, which I'm betting that most of that statement wasn't even written by Nick Sirianni. There's just no way that statement was written by Nick Sirianni. And I want to get this statement. And the end of it is really kind of pathetic. What he says about, it's not pathetic. It's just making it sound good. Okay. At the end of the statement, Sean, what does he say? I can't wait to see Sean with our team, and I want to welcome him and his wife. What else did he say? To learn from and grow along with some of the best coaches He says strategic. Sean's 11 years, and he's counting the time he played in the NFL, have provided him a great opportunity to learn from and grow alongside some of the best coaches in the game. As a result, he has the wealth of knowledge and experience that will be invaluable to our team moving forward. So, hey, he's worked under and he's played under good coaches. That
Sounds
doesn't
like an
mean
AI wrote that, like a chat.
well, yeah, but
GPT
oh,
wrote that.
it's like two long paragraphs of something that it's not. You know, I'm sure Nick Sirianni gives them whoever's going to write it in public relations some points, and then they write it. Hey, Nick, is this okay? Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Before I get off of here, I just want to say that Super Bowl in New York was the dumbest idea ever in the NFL. Is to have
No, but they do it because they promise a team that spends all that money for a new stadium and the community and the city and the taxpayers that they're going to get a Super Bowl. So they give them one. There'll never be a Super Bowl there again. It wasn't dumb. It was part of what Minnesota, even though it was a dome stadium. Who wants to be in? It was zero every night. It was 0 degrees every night in Minnesota.
But at least in Minnesota should have a detractable roof. Like just get.
But it's not about the roof. It's about the week that people spend there. That's what the Super Bowl is. That's what it is. It's about
all this. All this Eagle news is great for the Cowboys. Just keep bringing it on. More bad news from the Eagles. Better for the Cowboys. We all know that.
Okay. Do you want to make me a bet?
No.
Because you already owe me $300 for charity.
No more bets.
Okay.
No more bets. Why did you ask Mark?
The Cowboys are going to finish. The Cowboys are going to finish. I would bet you that the Cowboys finish in last place, but you don't want to take on that bet because you're afraid that the division's going to be better. It's not going to be a cakewalk again. The Eagles are going to have stiff competition from the Giants now.
Yeah.
And if Jaden Daniels is healthy, they're going to have stiff competition from Washington. Cowboys, they don't worry about. They'll split with the Cowboys like they do every year, and just because they split with the Cowboys.
All right, I'm going off to have lunch with Captain Cowboy. Your ears are going to be burning, and congratulations on your 100th episode. And I know I've done 50 of them, so I'm out of here.
Well, Wednesday night is my 1-year anniversary too. So,
it's been 3 years since you and I have been talking, and you created Cowboy Jim. So congratulations on that.
Oh, yeah, I created Cowboy Jim. Well, you created an idiot. I try to make you sound sensible, but it's impossible. All right, get out of here. Get out of here, you dope. I see somebody says, Ken, whatever, Ken. I don't even know how to read these names. Eagles own the East. The Eagles do not own the East anymore. They do not own the East. Somebody said, what the hell happened to the Eagles PR department? Do they think people are stupid? There is no way Nick wrote that. Well, he put some points in. He didn't write it. It was written for him with some of his points. But whatever. George, a cowboy jerk, Rip George, and George comes back. I have a few barbers and hairdressers I can recommend. Well, wait a minute. There's somebody here that says the Cowboys are still better than the Giants. Coaching isn't turning a turd into dinner. Well, I will say this. The Giants have a really good young quarterback that will develop more. They have some really good young players. They got some really good draft picks. And with all that, Giants are going to be good. The Giants are going to be good. You watch out. Next 2 years, they'll win the division. In the next 2 years, I think the Giants will win the division. All right. So we've had some fun, some other things that we dealt with. The offensive coordinator, it's a wait and see. It's a wait and see. Oh, I'm going to mention one thing about the Pro Bowl. Pro Bowl is a joke. I think Joe Flacco, I mean, Jalen Hurts just got the Pro Bowl is, I guess the Pro Bowl's this weekend sometime. Jalen Hurts was selected 1 or 2 days before the Pro Bowl. Joe Flacco, all these guys are bailing out. Nobody wants to go anymore to the Pro Bowl. It's not a big deal anymore. It's not football. It's just, it's a joke. I think Joe Flacco was just, I don't know. I guess I could ask my my AI friend. Let me just see. It's just to make sure, just to get the information right, and she's always right. Was Joe Flacco selected to the NFL Pro Bowl? And we're going to find out. So just. Oh, she's got to really dig into this.
Checking if Joe Flacco made the Pro Bowl. Yeah, it's real. Joe Flacco just got his first ever Pro Bowl nod at 41. The Bengals QB got added to the AFC roster for the 2026 Pro Bowl games yesterday, January 30th. He started the season with the Browns, got traded mid-year, stepped in for the Bengals, and put up solid numbers, like 13 touchdowns in a stretch of games. Never made it during his Ravens days, but now he's in. Wild, right? Here are some shots of him rocking the Bengals uniform this past season.
Well,
And check this.
here's what I'm going to, sorry to interrupt. Here's what I want to ask you. Which quarterback bailed out for Joe Flacco to make it?
Checking which QB got hurt for Flacco. Josh Allen. The Bills QB had a minor procedure on his injured right foot after the season. Nothing major, but enough to keep him out of the Pro Bowl games. Original AFC QB starters were Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and Drake May. May got replaced earlier by Shedeur Sanders, Flacco's old Browns teammate, and now Allen's spot goes to Flacco. Herbert's also sitting it out with a hand fracture from late season, but the direct bailout for Flacco is Allen. Crazy how the AFC QB room thinned out. Tons of injuries like Mahomes' ACL, Nix's ankle. So they went with the vet who's still slinging it at 41. Should be a fun flag football vibe in San Francisco next Tuesday. Flacco's going to love it.
All right, who bailed out for Jalen Hurts to make the Pro Bowl?
Checking the latest on Jalen Hurts in the Pro Bowl. Matthew Stafford. Rams QB got the boot from the NFC roster, likely because the Rams flamed out in the NFC Championship against the Seahawks. Original NFC starters were Dak Prescott and Sam Darnold, but Stafford was in there too, before pulling out. Hurts, who started as the fifth alternate, slides right in for him. This makes it Hurts' third Pro Bowl nod, even after a kind of mess season stats-wise. The guy still got that Super Bowl MVP shine from last year.
Yeah, sure he does. Cool. Sure he does. Relax. He didn't shine that much. I love you. You have a great weekend, and thanks for your help.
Thanks, Howard. You have one too.
He was the fifth alternate. Jalen Hurts was the fifth. Joe Flacco had to be at least the fifth or sixth alternate. And the game's got to be this weekend with the Super Bowl next week. They select the guy 1 or 2 days before the game. But I think it's only flag football anyway. Josh Allen was probably not going to play in a meaningless game, and he did have a procedure. But Matthew Stafford could have played. Nobody wants to I shouldn't say nobody. Many people don't want to go anymore to the Pro Bowl. Joe Flacco's a great guy, and he had a nice year, but he's not a Pro Bowler. Jalen Hurts wasn't a Pro Bowler this year, so I got that out of my system. All right, here's the question. For you to win the prize pack, good prize pack, Schmidt, Boa autograph balls, Chickies and Pete's gift certificate, a Maroney custom clothing gift certificate. When Mark Lawrence talked about the prop bets, what was the first prop bet he mentioned? The first prop bet that he mentioned, and that's the question. Submit your entry to my website, howardeskin.com, the contact page, and the correct, the winner with the correct answer. And if there's multiple answers that are correct, we'll select somebody at random. we'll announce that. Have it in by midnight Tuesday, February 3rd. We'll announce it on Wednesday, February 4th. And good luck. I see I see Patty said, too funny. I don't know what AI engine you use, but it's so funny. Yeah, she knows my name now. It's just, well, she kind of knew it from the beginning. It's just very personable. But she gets me all the information, and she runs it down. She gets a little overboard sometimes with, going over stats, but she's a positive person. So thanks to her, and thanks to my my AI friend, and thanks to you for joining us on the 100th show, the Howard Eskin Show, as you're riding with the King. Thanks to Joe Gangemi for being on the other side on this Saturday morning. Cold out there. Stay warm. Cold in the Philadelphia area. Cold in a lot of places. Really cold. But hang in there. We're not going to get in the specific Philadelphia region itself. I don't think we're going to get, by my forecast, snow for a while, which is a good thing. So we can get rid of some of this snow there now. So thanks to Joe on the other side for the technical stuff. Thanks to Tony Anastasia for all the good graphics and all the stuff she does on my website and social media. And thanks to you. And thanks to Danny. Danny, great show, King. Once again, congratulations on your 100th show. And here's to 100 more from a loyal listener. And Chris, you're right. The Pro Bowl is a joke. I think it's only flag football now. And the actual game is Tuesday night. The Pro Bowl game is Tuesday night. Is that when the Pro Bowl game is? It's like, are you kidding me? Tuesday, I think it's flag football. It's just, I think it's flag football. Somebody says, make Roman Gabriel great again. Roman Gabriel was a great guy, very nice quarterback. So we'll talk about the Super Bowl next week. And thanks to you and all your comments, and thanks for joining the show. Phillips Rivers should have been selected. Wouldn't that be great? He played a few games. He could have been selected to the Pro. He would have gotten more juice. But I like Joe Flacco. He's a great guy. Thanks to you. And have a great weekend. And thanks for joining the Howard Eskin Show.
Yes, the sixes to the fields, one voice cuts through, giving you the real. He broke the stories, he started the fire, launched the whole game back in 86, never retired. Heroes crown him, yeah, they call him the king. Fur coat flashing, bling bling in every ring. He's the hardest working, great talking dog. Call in with your tape, but don't get it wrong. He'll call you a nitwit if you're acting a fool, but deep down you love it, that's the Eskin rule. Riding with the king, yeah, we're riding with the king. Howard Eskin Show, let the truth ring. Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, Flyers, he knows the deal. Philly sports royalty, bow down and kneel. Riding with the king, put your hands in the air. From South Philly streets to the Delaware. No filter, no fear, just the facts on the mic. It's the Howard Eskin Show. Let's go get sight. Hey, riding with the king. Riding with the king. Hey, riding with the king. Riding with the king.